And remind me, these €1 properties, it was relatively recent. Was it 2021, 2022 that they were put out there?
I came to know about it in October of 2019. And then I bought my first properties in February of 2020.
Tell everyone the story, because I'm familiar with it myself, but you want to tell everyone the story about how these properties were available for €1?
Yeah, so it's quite simple. There's plenty of small towns in Italy. Like, you have to really understand Italy in general. Italy is a young country, right? It's founded in 1861 and kind of fragmented prior to that. And its industry never really took off, I would say. So oftentimes, Italians are known for emigrating out of the country because of bureaucracy or low employment opportunities or other economic issues. And the smaller towns outside of the main cities, like aside from the main cities, everything else is small towns. A lot of those small towns didn't keep up with the Industrial Revolution. There's no real job activity. So these towns lose their population to the big cities, and then especially after the immersion of the Eurozone, it made it a lot easier for Italians to migrate to other countries in Europe with better economies, like Germany, and when the UK was an open zone as well. A lot of them left and took jobs where jobs were available. Prior to that, there was obviously huge emigration to Argentina, Brazil, United States. They have this history of leaving things. So a lot of these towns have lost their population, and they're also not replenishing. They're not reproducing as they need to maintain population density. So a lot of these towns have these homes that were once owned by families that are vacant. And in an effort to revitalize the towns, they started to market them for €1, just to get attention and get people to come in and maybe breathe life into these towns. Now, each time somebody buys one of these homes, a lot of the towns have like a kind of like a soft to hard policy that the €1 homes need to be redeveloped within 3 years. And what they do is they kind of like almost forgive any outstanding debts or violations to the family that's choosing to sell the €1 homes, because these are not government-owned properties. These are properties that the government is helping to facilitate the sale so that the citizens that own these properties can actually pass it off to somebody who's going to take care of it. And their goal is to, get people to first revitalize the properties so they're not falling into disrepair and being an eyesore in the town. And secondary to that, it's creating employment opportunities for people who are doing construction. So the local tradesmen get to work a bit, and it brings dollars into the town. And hopefully, some of these people who buy these €1 homes, whether they're from big cities in Italy or abroad, decide to make these communities their home and bring new business there. So what you're finding is exactly that. A lot of the foreigners who are coming, some of them retirees, etc., they come, they build their home, first as a vacation home, and then they start thinking, well, I could live here. And they might open a new coffee shop, or they might start a bed and breakfast business, or they might start a local tourism business. They'll do something. I know people who started art galleries, etc. So they create new opportunities. But I think what's lacking is true industries, companies that are producing dozens to hundreds of jobs instead of like these one-off sort of small businesses that might only employ 5 people. They really have a jobs problem there. And I think if people come to these towns and develop tech companies, develop manufacturing companies, then the youth might stay, right? Because the cost of living is pretty great in these small towns. So you could retain the youth. Like, wages in Spain are pretty awful when you look at it compared to the UK or the United States. And the youth want to work, and they want to feel compensated. And if they were able to work in smaller towns where they could get a little bit more, they would, right? And a lot of these smaller towns are, within commuting distance to major cities or bigger cities. So if you could start to shift some of the younger generation into these small towns, you could rejuvenate them. But the history behind the €1 homes is exactly that. Population decline, and trying to do anything that they can to get people to do something with this real estate, with the hopes of regenerating populations.